All right, Democrats are having trouble finding out where to turn. You got the party leaders all failing at their jobs currently, so the Dems are going to their old faithful, Barack Obama. Yep, the former president was in California today at Stanford, spreading the word about the Dems' new boogeyman, misinformation.
Social media platforms aren't just our window into the internet. They serve as our primary source of news and information. Happy diversions and cat videos flow alongside lies, conspiracy theories, junk science, quackery, white supremacist, racist tracts, misogynist screeds. And over time, we lose our capacity to distinguish between fact, opinion, and wholesale fiction.
Wow, wholesale fiction. You mean like the Democrats believe the 2016 election was stolen by the Russians from Hillary Clinton? A new poll shows that 72% of the Dems believe the 2016 election was changed by Russian interference. There are no facts to back that up. It looks like Democrats already know 2022 and 2024 are going to be a mess. So they're laying the groundwork to blame their losses on something else. Misinformation. Joining us now, Kayleigh McEnany, former White House press secretary, outnumbered co-host. You see her all over the channel. Kayleigh, what was your take on the speech today? Was there a message behind it? Because he is still considered the leader of the Democratic Party.
The message is Democrats want to control what is said and what is not said. That's why corporate America, social media is trying so hard to maintain their grip on power to the point where entities like Twitter are doing what is averse to their shareholders' interest to keep Elon Musk out. What I thought, though, was the roaring, loud, undeniable hypocrisy, Brian, of the fact that John Brennan of the CIA, according to John Radcliffe, what he disclosed at the end of 2022, that you had Brennan brief Obama about Hillary Clinton's plan to vilify President Trump with the false Russia collusion allegations. Well, where were you then, President Obama? Where were you then when misinformation was presented to you, purveyed and spread for 6 years? I didn't hear from you.
He didn't say a word about that. He didn't bring up President Biden that I could tell. It's about an hour and 13-minute speech, went through it. But he also is looking to vilify big tech in that, remember, they had that whistleblower a few months ago, Democrats feasting on her and on Facebook. And I'm wondering what's behind them wanting to take down social media now when it's so compliant, it's so firmly in their corner. Do you know?
It is really interesting, Brian, because when I heard President Obama mention Section 230 and changing it, that, of course, gives immunity to these social media companies from liability and from litigation. It was a bit curious to hear him say that. I think you raise a great point because they do all of the Democrats' dirty work. Remember Lafayette Square, that lie about Donald Trump that was debunked by the IG, that spread rampant on Twitter. The suckers and losers story that he had called our troops at, that spread rampant. That was a lie debunked by more than 24 firsthand sources. The Russian bounties, that spread rampant on social media. That was debunked by Biden's intel community. It all ran rampant on social media. So it is a bit curious, Brian. Maybe they just want that much more control because we know that's what Democrats want.
Yeah, possibly. Kayleigh, something else happened, and I didn't know in between me going down the elevator and coming here, another Kamala staffer bit the dust. Resigning now is her chief of staff, Tina Flournoy. She adds herself to a very long list of Harris staffers who have jumped the ship. We're not even 2 years in yet. How do you explain this?
Yeah, you can barely blink without another departure. I mean, Brian, it's inexplicable. You have the chief of staff leaving, the deputy chief of staff, the communications director, the press secretary, the national security advisor, the speechwriter, essentially her whole office leaving except that boy who sat outside her office, that guy who was typing. It looked like it was a hostage picture that was taken. I think he's still there. But you didn't see this with Vice President Pence. You just didn't. When I was there, I don't think there was even a single departure in an entire year because he knew how to run an office. She blames her staff for all of her mistakes, and apparently it's pretty brutal. Her campaign was, her staff in California, her Senate office, and now her vice president's office. So hemorrhaging staff, it's a little bit unusual. Certainly didn't happen when I was there with the vice president.
Quick opinion from you. Why do you think that story got planted that Barack Obama was told by Joe Biden that he's running for re-election? Do you think it should be taken at face value, or is there something else going on there?
I do think it should be taken at face value. First, I think that Vice President Biden and President Obama have a little bit of tension between the two. So I think that was strategically leaked. I think that the current president wanted that out there, President Biden. I have no doubt President Biden is running. That man is far too stubborn, far too intent on cementing his legacy. He's running. He probably shouldn't. I hope Jill pulls him back. But he's running. And I think that leak was strategic.
Kayleigh, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Always great to see you.
Thank you, Brian.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.